Good evening and a warm welcome to B-CAF, Bridging Culture and Art Foundation. B-CAF is a non-profit foundation that is working as a bridge between artists, communities and urban population to create a sustainable ecosystem for art and culture. We are very happy to welcome you all on International Museum Day. Today the topic is Power of Art Leadership, and we will be discussing how art leadership can facilitate an art form and a community to grow and sustain. We are delighted to have Ms. Ruby Palchoudhuri, a renowned art leader, today as our speaker. She will be in conversation with Ms. Reena Dewan, and this conversation is under our one of the main verticals, Community Leadership Program. We are thankful to West Bengal Craft Council for collaborating with us in this session. It's my delight now to introduce Ms. Ruby Palchoudhuri, who does not need any introduction though. Ruby Palchoudhuri is one of India's leading experts and voices on craft revival and documentation. She is currently the advisor and president emeritus of Craft Council of West Bengal. She was earlier elected as Honorary General Secretary and Executive Director, Crafts Council of West Bengal and World Craft Council, a voluntary non-profit making organization established to revive dying craft and to promote cultural thoughts and purpose among connoisseurs, craftsmen and organizations interested in crafts. She was elected as Vice President of Crafts Council of India. She has been facilitated by FICCI Ladies Organization, Kolkata chapter, for outstanding contribution in the field of revival of craft. She is a part of in setting up various training production centers in Kolkata and Shantiniketan as part of the income generation program for lower income group while focusing on the revival of various craft forms. She is the author and editor to numerous publications on crafts. She has curated exhibitions in different museums and spaces across the world. It's also my delight to introduce Ms. Reena Dewan. Ms. Reena Dewan is board chair of B-CAF, Bridging Culture and Arts Foundation. She is also board member of ICOM Intercom, president West Bengal Arts Council Wiki and former president ICOM India. Reena Dewan champions and facilitates inclusion, diversity and gender equality in art spaces. She is instrumental in launching the first accessibility program in Eastern India, which forms a bridge between people with special abilities and arts. She works for social inclusion using arts for the development of marginalized and differently abled. She is pioneering social changes, creating an inclusive culture in B-CAF that addresses different abilities and choices, gender and sexual diversity, and marginalization of communities through appreciation and applications of art. We welcome you all in this session.
Hi, welcome to Bridging Culture and Arts Foundation, B-CAF. We are today at our very own, very dear Ruby Di's house, Ruby Palchoudhuri. She needs no introduction. So let her work, speak about her. So during this conversation, we are going to talk about your years of journey. As I said to you before, that Bridging Culture and Arts Foundation is trying to build, at least trying to support to build the entrepreneurship and leadership within the communities, because what we have seen in the past is that we sort of become custodians in the urban city and they look up to us to support them, but we felt that we should not be in that position of power. Instead, the leadership and entrepreneurship should be built within the communities so that they flourish on their own. Of course, we are all there to enjoy their art, support them. So tell me something, Ruby Di, that how do you feel about, because you have seen from so many years, generations of artisans, you have seen how flourishing they were and what condition they are today. What do you think is the importance of building entrepreneurship and leadership among the communities?
This is what is needed today, absolutely, to build up that kind of community. and not just one, but how he can inspire the other people. That is very important. But before that, may I start talking about Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay? Because I am very fortunate, because I belong to the generation when I had the pleasure of knowing her, and not only knowing her, we were washing her feet every night when she was staying with me. See, this is my, but my tears come when I talk about her, you see, because you possibly have read Ramchandra Gupta's article where he's declared the best women in this 20th century. But she was also, when she left politics, she was involved with the independence movement and Gandhiji and everything. But when India was free, she said, no, this is not my work. My work is to build that heritage at the grassroots level. Whether it is craft, whether it is textile, whether it is performing arts, everything. And so she started traveling from village to village with a chappal. That's why her feet were so dirty, you see. She went around, and then she discovered, and she started bringing them together. All India Handicrafts Board was an organization that sort of worked on this. And also Weaver Service Center and Sangeet Natak Academy, all these institutions started by her. But as I said, she was a follower. How did she start? She was a follower of Tagore. You see, because Tagore had a touchstone, with which he can measure the wealth of the artisans. And this is something she learned from. So, as I said, from follower she became a leader. As I said, I am a follower of her. I can't call myself leader, but I have led artisans also, I would say, in the sense. And leadership, I feel, is a craft, because just as much as you have to use your hand and finger to build the craft, you have to use your brain to know about leadership. This is something that you have to learn. And as I said, this is also an integral part of our heritage. This leadership is a very important thing to inspire the people, to inspire the grassroots artisans or artists, whatever you may call it. Because hand sector in India is one of the second most creative industry in our country. So it is very important to sustain them and build them up. Very important. And then, as I said, it's a livelihood. That is what matters, you see. The sustainable livelihood. That's what we need to do. Now, to develop the leadership among the grassroots people, what we need to do, we have to have installed confidence in them. It's very important. Yes, you can do it, or yes, you're doing very well, and with lot of empathy, not sympathy, but empathy. Very important. What are some points I put together? Then when you are working with them, certain amount of reflection is also necessary. And professionalism. You have to be professional. When you work with them, you have to understand them, you have to reflect them, and you have to understand what they want to do. And you can't do it from far. You have to be at this spot. That's what Kamala Devi has said. Unless you go there, it's much better than even reading books. Humility is a very important thing. You must not think of yourself, think of it and be be with them. That kind of humility is very important. Oh, I am the giver, I am giving you money. That kind of attitude will not do. He is important. And another thing I really want to tell you, which I learned from Stella Kramesh, when the crafts, the origin of these crafts, I said, how did they think of the wonderful glass? You have seen how these bell metal glasses are shaped, as you can hold it. The utility is a very important thing, and aesthetic is also very important. The two things have to be combined. And so I think the origin of it was the gift given by them. It's a sort of divine from Vishwakarma. I believe in that. How did this, when I see all these things, for example, a kalshi, what you call it, kalash, what you call it. How did it, the shape? It's a fulfillment, of course, as you know, kalshis. But look at the shape and the utility. Everything, I mean, who started it? When I keep thinking, who started this design, the traditional design?
But tell me, Rubidi, because now what we are also seeing is that people feel that their designs are repetitive, and how much can they buy the same repetitive designs, because these are all traditional designs. So if we think of doing some design intervention, for example, so our concern becomes that we should not be spoiling the art form. So how one deals with it? That
you have to expose them to these modern things, contemporary development. You have to expose them and slowly build up their mind that keep the tradition, keep the technicality. Technical is very important thing. Technology is very important, but create your own design. This is something that you have to be. But you have to first expose them. Either going by, to the museums or a place like yours, what you have contemporary. Just take away.
Yeah. Do you think exposing them will open their thought process on its own?
Open their mind to this.
So instead of teaching them, really,
all of a sudden you can't say do some contemporary. No, you can't.
No.
You have to take it to them. Take them either to the museum or something. I don't know. We don't have any contemporary museum, do we?
No, not of that sort here.
I think I can only think of it. But pictures, things like that. What is happening? I mean, if you like, I get a lot of these videos where my great friend Helen Dutt in Philadelphia.
Yeah, she came last. I met with her. Yeah, we went to the design school.
She has fantastic. I'll show you some jewelry design.
Right.
The books I can show you how they make this jewelry. But you wouldn't think of these things, and or even the pottery, art area.
Okay.
They all. Helen sends me all this. This is hers.
Yes, I met with her. Right.
This is a library. Then you will see her book. No, wait a minute. I think I've left out.
Single page.
Is there anything? No, but somebody else is coming. Why is it? So maybe it is. Wait a minute. Okay, now this is Helen Dutt.
You're right.
Look at her house.
Wow. My God.
All modern pottery, contemporary pottery.
So you're saying that expose them to these kind of things?
Yeah, I think it's very important.
Right. Okay, so this is the book that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're saying that designs like this, they should be exposed.
They should be
exposed with, and that's how they develop an eye and understanding of what they want to develop.
They have to develop.
Not that
just expose them. Now you see what you do.
Right. Okay. So that's the way for when you talk about the design intervention. This is the right way to do the design intervention.
They have to be exposed. All of a sudden you do something that would be useful.
Right.
Because they have to think of the utility also.
Right.
Not only the aesthetic part of it, but the utility part of it is very important.
And how to develop their interest, because when we reach out to them, we realize that many of them are saying that they are so tired of their daily work and they are not wanting to learn new things. So how to develop the interest in them for learning new things and taking this exposure?
You have to understand them. ঠিক আছে তুমি যেটা পাচ্ছো করো তো নিজে করো তো আগে দেখি তারপরে তার অ্যাপ্রিসিয়েশন ওকে এবার থেকে এটা থেকে তুমি কি করতে পারো what can you make from here? You just slowly you have to be with them You have to have that empathy and
Patience.
give them the
Yeah.
confidence.
Right.
See, it has to be built up. It's a craft, as I said. It's a craft, that leadership.
Right, right. And do you think that it is right to think like this, because mostly the artists are working in communities? So is it okay to build and pick some of the people as fellows from there and build on them, or it is that entire community should be developed together? Because some are obviously
It's always better how we can develop the community, and of course with the leadership. Maybe you can just show them some films also. It's not all possible to go for them to go abroad, but you can see also lots of films on craft.
Ruby, this is really important what you talked about, that having the time and patience to work with them empathetically, understanding their situation and slowly exposing them and opening their mind, and then seeing what they are reflecting on. This is really a beautiful way of looking at how we are going to work with communities. But also you have seen that years together they are working
Over 50 years, 60 years,
over
60 years, I
yes,
expect.
absolutely. And what are the problems that you're seeing? Like, what is it that is stopping from the Indian craft to go to a level where it is appreciated to that extent that our artisans or craftsmen do not have to really struggle for 2 square decent meal for their family? So what is the problem?
We certainly need a partnership. Partnership. People like me. So could join them, giving that kind of a boost up without any kind of a patronizing attitude. Give them a boost up. That is very important to be with them.
But there are some organizations who had already been working in this field.
There are organizations. Yeah.
But at the same time, we still see that there is a lot of.
But now a lot of artisans are also in it. For example, if you see Ashish Malakar, who was the son 3 generations. Katyayani, I have known. She was the first one to make all these what you call the images and all that. Katyayani Malakar. And then son Aditya, he was a genius. We have taken him all over the world almost. And it's that dedication. Whenever he sharpens it, he touches it on his. Why? It's a dedication to Vishwakarma. That is what the divine sort of aspect is coming. And even potters, before he turns his wheel, he touches it. Why? This has come down from the dedication. That kind of people you must also understand whether he is capable also. This is something that not anybody. You have to also understand, and you have to, if possible, build them up. But maybe everybody is not capable. Maybe they are not capable. But you still also see, okay, these 10 people, 20 people are there, maybe these 10 people will be there. Maybe later, with other 10, maybe would be inspired later on. You see, you just work with the 10 people you think that has the potential.
So, but how do we not hurt those 10 people who have not?
They will start copying. They will come, it will come on. It's the environment that matters and the influence.
They'll
That's what I feel.
Get the pull that, okay, these people are. And so despite so much of work had been done by many people such as you and
you must
others.
go with a hope and not with you must have that hope within yourself also. I am very optimistic. I have it. Very optimistic. That kind of optimism must be there. We have to work with them. Work with them. They don't work for us.
No.
You work with them.
But it comes to my mind that there had been so many people like such as you and many other organizations already working with artisans for these kind of support systems, to build these kind of support system. But we still see that there are a lot of art forms which are dying or on the verge of dying. So why does that happen? On the verge of dying.
We need to revive those. So, for example, the Bishnupur port. It is totally dying. We need to revive.
So you're saying that there are so many art forms that something gets left out.
We can revive. We can revive them. Okay. Call her and let's have a workshop on it.
Right.
For example, I'm saying there are other art forms also, but I should think what are the things we
But
can
is there any mapping done? How many art forms are there? For example, in Bengal itself, and how many artists are pursuing that art
We
form?
did a map once, but it was not long ago when Jaya wanted to for their organization now, craft map. But I don't know whether, maybe it's here, but I have to tell my secretary to find it. It is in the office. But that's very, very superficial, I think. Very
So
superficial.
if we have to do the mapping, then what is the way?
Maybe we can do. I'll talk to somebody. In fact, that gentleman, Deepak Korko, he is a very knowledgeable person. He's the one who informed me about the Vishnu plot. Not that I have not seen. Near Shantiniketan, there is a village. Hatsharandi, yeah. And they make those pots, on cloth with bamboo frame. And this has paint and everything, and they decorate it with sequins and every 2 years they go and immerse it. The small few people, maybe we can do a workshop there. They can produce other things, not just the Durga.
So when you're saying workshop, which means what? What exactly in that workshop should happen?
Sorry?
In that workshop, what should happen? Like what? What's the
Develop new
purpose?
products
New products, okay.
with their skill.
Right. So for developing new products, who are the right people that we should take with us as resource people?
No, then of course we need to think of it. Maybe it's a person who can design or something. Maybe beautiful cards with all. That's what I tried, but I couldn't do it and I didn't follow up. For example, Christmas cards. Things like I'm just saying
Right,
that sort of thing.
yeah. So you're saying that we should be taking some resource people like
Or
the
maybe we can
designers.
make puppets and all that sort of thing.
So some new things should come out from there.
Yeah.
From that workshop.
I'm not saying that you just do those things, but with that skill, with that, and with kind of ornamentation and everything, just with bamboo frames, you can make beautiful pictures. Lots of things can be done. Hundreds of things can
And what is the way forward for making sure that the products sell? Because ultimately they need money.
Maybe you do a prototype, and then you test it, market test.
Okay. Right. So we take feedback from the market that
Yeah, you
how
did
does
that.
it feel?
You
All
did
right.
that.
Okay. That's an interesting thing you have said because
Develop 1 or 2 prototypes.
right. Fine. And do a survey that how people are responding
And
to
for
it.
example, to people who are, say, do you think this is too interesting for you? Or something like that.
Right.
And 1 or 2 prototypes to do, it won't take very long. I mean, it won't cost also very much.
Right.
And they're simple things, cloth and bamboo, and they paint.
And I remember we once spoke about that even the Palchoudhuri that they are creating on the scrolls, that also can be used even for clothes. Minimalistic design sense, but at the same time, the Palchoudhuri art forms can also be brought to the clothes that we wear,
Exactly.
the dresses. Yeah, so you're saying that develop those and then maybe do the testing for that. What do you see an organization like B-CAF, Bridging Culture and Arts Foundation, we should be focusing on which area that you feel that can be immediately we should start working with them because you understand that there are certain things which can
Where
be
do you want
developed.
to start?
So I personally definitely Palchoudhuri is my favorite, and
But you are not going to be here. When you are here, in the beginning, your presence is very important.
Yes.
So tell me, I'll also think which you can start immediately.
Right. So Shola is one thing that I feel.
Shola, immediately you can do it.
Yes. Okay. So we'll start with Shola and Palchoudhuri maybe. And my idea is that Palchoudhuri we should use on our clothes because clothes are needed in abundance. Every one of us has almirah full of clothes and we still want more clothes. So if we can use that as an art form to use maybe over
No more
stoles.
mythological, just do all this modern design that is like.
Right.
Even scrolls also, all color, different color scrolls. It looks wonderful, absolutely. For the go on. That's what the whole world, even and there I used to see the television, it is so modern, just simple things, but beautiful.
And do you see a market of that in India? Is there a demand?
Of course there is.
True. And is there anything that you yourself want to add to the conversation that you want to tell us from your own side?
I am with you, Reena. I am with you. Because you
That's the best thing.
In fact, you will be the flag bearer.
So definitely, we will be the flag bearers, and we will definitely, under your guidance and of course support from all of the people who had been working in this field, and we only see that there is a lot to do, and with your guidance, with your support, we can definitely.
My support is there. Yeah. Whatever I know, I always.
So thank you so much, Ruby, for today's conversation, and I promise you that we will work with full heart what we discussed today, so that we can create a better future for everybody.
Just fulfill my heart's desire.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much for listening to this conversation, and I hope that you will have your wishes with us, with Bridging Culture and Arts Foundation, B-CAF, and keep listening to us, keep following us, and we hope we all can come together and do absolutely amazing works. Thank you.